Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to conduct a professional postmortem on a pretty significant trading loss. Now, the goal here isn't to dwell on the negative, but to pull out some really powerful, actionable lessons in risk management that can help pretty much any trader out there.
So what was the damage? About $3,000 gone in just 10 days of trading foreign currencies, forex, and precious metals. A really swift, painful hit. But the most important question, the one we're here to answer, is why? Why did it happen?
And here's the thing. The answer is probably not what you're thinking. This wasn't just a string of bad luck. And it wasn't the result of a technical trading strategy that just suddenly decided to stop working. Nope. The root cause was something way more structural and, frankly, far more important for us to understand.
The failure came down to this: a macro-regime mismatch. Now, it sounds complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's what happens when you take a system that's built for one kind of market, let's say a calm, predictable one, and you try to force it to work when the market has turned into something totally chaotic and unpredictable. The system isn't broken, right? It's just in the wrong environment. And that, my friends, is a recipe for disaster.
So what actually changed? Well, the entire market environment did a 180. Geopolitical tensions started to really heat up, war headlines were all over the place. And during times like these, the big picture stuff, macroeconomics, it stops being just background noise. It becomes the primary driver of every single tick on the chart.
In this slide, this really breaks down the two worlds perfectly. In a stable regime, your technical analysis works great. Trends tend to follow through, volatility is more or less predictable. But then you enter an escalation regime. And that's when fear takes over the driver's seat. Liquidity just dries up, the spreads between buy and sell prices get crazy wide, and all those historical correlations between assets that you count on, they just fall apart. You're not playing the same game anymore.
And that leads us right to the first critical failure, just completely ignoring that the regime had shifted. The trader kept running a purely technical system, looking for chart patterns, in a world that was now being run entirely by macro-level fear.
This quote from the analysis just says it all, doesn't it? Gold wasn't trading on supply and demand anymore. It was trading as a fear gauge. The US dollar wasn't just another currency. It was a safe haven asset everyone was running to. Treating them like they were just simple technical instruments was the foundational mistake that set everything else in motion.
And of course, that foundational error led straight to the second set of failures. And this one was all about a complete disrespect for the power of market fear, which showed up as a series of just disastrous tactical decisions.
So instead of stepping back and reducing risk, the trader did the exact opposite. They traded more often, not less. They took on too many positions. They even started revenge trading to try and claw back the losses, a classic emotional trap. And crucially, they ignored the signals the market was practically screaming. A powerful rally in gold and the US dollar in this kind of environment isn't a technical pattern, it's a giant neon sign flashing, "Capital is fleeing to safety."
The third failure is, well, it's maybe the most dangerous one. This is where the trader's own internal rulebook, their risk governance, their discipline, just completely collapsed under the pressure of this new volatile environment.
This chart just says it all. Volatility, which we're measuring here by average true range, or ATR, it just exploded. This means the daily price swings became much, much larger. A stop loss that was perfectly safe a week ago was now getting easily triggered by just normal market noise. The risk on every single trade had fundamentally increased.
So here's the crucial point. When the risk per trade goes way up, what's the only correct response? You have to reduce your position size to compensate. But that's not what happened. Normal position sizes were used in a completely abnormal market, which meant every single loss was dramatically amplified. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
And this is where the discipline just completely broke. Predefined rules, things like stopping after a set number of losses or capping your daily exposure, they were just thrown out the window. The need to do something, to be active, it just overrode the need for clear, rational judgment. This isn't a strategy failure, it's a governance failure.
So how do you fix this? The most valuable part of any failure is the upgrade it inspires. So let's take a look at how to build a more resilient and regime-aware risk system from this costly experience. These are the new, non-negotiable rules forged from this loss. And notice how they directly address each and every failure point. Rule 1 acknowledges the regime. Rule 3 automates the correct response to volatility. And Rules 4 and 5, they enforce the discipline that collapsed under pressure. This is how you build an all-weather system. If you only take away one thing from this entire analysis, please let it be this. Your technical strategy, no matter how good it is only effective within the correct macro environment. When the big picture dominates, your small picture technical edges shrink, and sometimes they even disappear entirely.
So the lesson, paid for at a cost of $3,000, can really be distilled into 3 simple lines. Regime first. Always understand the environment you're in. Discipline always. Enforce your rules, especially when it's hard. And finally, trade the environment. Trade the market you actually have, not the one you wish you had.